Today, we're going to learn how to write wonderful personal narratives. That's the first part of our class. I would like you to start imagining finished work. Imagine a book or a narrative. Think about this. Now imagine the strategies the writer had to get to that wonderful piece of writing. Think about that. Now I want you to think about something else. Have you ever seen those amazing wedding cakes with tons of layers? So beautiful. And have you ever thought, oh my, how can this chef, how can this person make this thing not fall? How does he do that? So picture one of those. If you have never seen, I have one example here for you. So when I see those, I always think, how did the pastry chef keep these layers from tipping or from falling? How did he do it? How? And that's the same thing about writers. You know, they study, they have a technique. So in order for the pastry chef to do that, he had to study a lot. He had to see other examples. He had to learn from other people. And that's the same thing about writers. Great writers, they always analyze other pieces. They always learn from other writers. And that's what we're going to do today. From what you have been writing so far, I can tell you're gonna be great writers. Actually, you are already great writers. But in order to become better and to become one of the best, we need to learn how to do this, how to make these masterpieces. So first, we're going to start this year by studying another narrative, just like the writers do, the famous writers do. And we're going to see if we can figure out the recipe for this piece of work. The steps, just like the pastry chef, he has the steps that he has to follow. We're going to see that. We're going to figure out the steps so we can make writing equally powerful. Are you ready? So come with me, grab paper and pencil. The first part, we are going to see some piece of work from a middle schooler, someone just like you, who was able to write a wonderful piece of work. The first part, we need to read just like a book, enjoying it, and that's what we're going to do. Then, after that, we think, what did this writer do that worked? Then we reread it and we think, what did this writer do? What worked? We have a closer look. We look at more closely. So let's do it. I shivered a little bit. It's pretty cold, I said as I dipped my toes in the water. I took a pebble and threw it far into the creek. Well, whatever, I said as I plunged into the cold water. It felt amazing. The cold water covered my eyes like gentle blankets, and the water washed over me like a breeze. Swimming is my favorite. Wait up! Yelled Emma as she ran down the hill with her floaty wrapped around her waist. Her curly brown hair whipped around in the breeze. I shivered. I was cold already. A moment after that, India's mom waded in, laughing. Ha! It's cold, she said. Then she stopped. Girls, out! Out of the water! She pushed us back to the shore. I looked back and I saw a long, thin water snake slithering towards us. I gasped. I quickly swam underwater in big, wide strokes. Writers, I did the first part, which was just reading and enjoying the moment. Now we're going to take a closer look and we're going to start asking questions to ourselves. And I want you to think and write down on your piece of paper. What did get to me in this piece? So write, what did get to you in this piece? What got your attention there? For me, the part that I like, the part that got to me in this piece, is that she took a small moment of her life, not like one of those my whole summer story. No, probably this moment was like 20 minutes, and she made it into a whole big story. Why? How did she do it? Because she put a lot of details, and that's what got me into this. That she was able to grab a small part of her day, a small moment, a short moment, and make it into a very nice, detailed story. It's very focused on something, and that's what makes it better. So now I'm going to annotate. I'm going to write next to the text. How did she have it so focused? What evidence from the text shows it? And I'm going to do it with you. Let me reread and see if I can find this specific evidence. I can picture this exactly. I can picture this moment when she says, I shivered a little bit. It's pretty cold, I said as I dipped my toes in the water. I took a pebble and threw it far into the creek. I can picture this, and that's very focused. Writers, remember, we are studying this narrative to learn what we can do to make more powerful narrative ourselves. So starting today, let's write down. So I wanted to write down how to write personal narratives, strong personal narratives. We learned so far that is to focus on one episode with detail, write with detail, don't summarize a stretch of time. Just write in detail something and help readers picture this episode and small action. Are you ready to learn more? Now we're going to read the second part. Remember, this second part we're just going to read as we are enjoying it, as we were enjoying a book. I shivered a little bit. It's pretty cold, I said as I dipped my toes in the water. I took a pebble and threw it far into the creek. Well, whatever, I said as I plunged into the cold water. It felt amazing. The cold water covered my eyes like gentle blankets, and the water washed over me like a breeze. Swimming is my favorite. Wait up, yelled Emma as she ran down the hill with her floaty wrapped around her waist, her curly brown hair wiped around in breeze. I shivered. I was cold already. So now I want you to annotate. What do you think? What do you think she has done that you think works in this text? Think about that. And if you find yourself coming up with a quick and easy label, I want you to stretch, to push yourself to be more specific. What exactly did she do to pull this off, this next part? Be specific enough so that you can come up with a recipe that you can follow that will work equally well for you. Think about it. Pause this video and write.